Welcome back to the Crypto Report. I'm Black Sea and I have another video for you guys. Today I want to talk about Solana and why I think there's a very large move coming for Bitcoin and the altcoins. So without further ado, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's hop into this video, guys. So first things first, guys. Solana sitting at $132. Quite a interesting day today. The CPI numbers came out. They were bullish, but we sold off and now we're bouncing back up. A classic CPI day. Lots of very sharp, shifty moves in the overall market, and we're seeing that play out in the cryptocurrency space. You know, ever since Bitcoin got a spot ETF, it basically trades like a stock now, and so does all the other cryptocurrencies in the ecosystem. But I digress. Right now, Solana is sitting at a $77.5 billion market cap, sitting at $2.1 billion 24-hour volume. Very nice to see that. Seeing a little bit of excitement in the market today, seeing very shifty moves, like I said. But all in all here, guys, Solana is sitting at a very nice level. You know, I've been trying to leverage up into my Solana position. I want more Solana. I want to slowly dollar cost average out of my Ethereum into Solana, but I've been waiting for an appropriate exchange rate and for on the Solana ETH chart, but I think that's probably not going to happen, and I'm probably going to either have to A, bite the bullet, or B, miss out on the trade. I still hold a significant amount of Solana. I'm a big bull when it comes to Solana, but you know, I've made a lot of money with Solana. And I bought at the bottom. I bought between $8 and $12. I bought lots and lots of Solana. I want more, but, you know, it's good to be diversified, and you don't want to be chasing runaway trains, especially if you already have exposure. And like I try to say in this on the Crypto Report, guys, on my videos, is that, you know, the more you trade, the more you can get chopped up. If you were trading a lot over the past 7 months, you've probably gotten chopped up to pieces, especially if you're trading meme coins and altcoins, because man, oh man, Bitcoin has been chopping up the altcoins. So let's take a deeper look into Solana right now. We are at a very key price level, bouncing off of this support here at about 117. We wicked below it, and this is I keep looking at this yellow line at 117 because this is where I got stopped out on a decent amount of my Solana position. I still have Solana, don't get me wrong, guys, but I want more. But this is where I got stopped out. For profit, obviously, bought in between $8 and $12, but this line right here is very important in my mind, and that's why I had a stop loss at 117, because I did think that if we do break below this, especially on a daily, weekly candle closure basis, we probably spill over to maybe even $60 Solana. But, I think that there's a very large move coming for the cryptocurrency space. We're going to talk about that. I think that this large move could set up Solana making a way towards $300, $500, even $1,000 Solana, or we could break down below this 117 and head our way to $60. So we're going to be keeping our eyes wide open, and we're going to talk about that. So over on Crypto Twitter, you can follow me at 333BlackSea. I just posted this. I said there is a very big move coming, and I posted this photo here of this chart that I've been looking at. I like Market Cypher a lot, guys. It's this trading indicator down here. I've been using it for a long time, and it really is helpful. It's for beginners and experts alike. You know, if you've been trading for a day, it's great for beginners. If you've been trading for 10 years, like myself, it's great. I really enjoy seeing it. It's kind of an all-in-one indicator. It's very nice. But we've been seeing these orange dots, guys, these orange rings. So I put orange circles around a couple of these clusters of buy and sell signals, okay? And I really want to dive deeper into this because whenever we've seen these clusters forming, where it's a red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, and just clusters of sideways chop, usually we see a very large move coming right after it. So it's a lot of times we're seeing a large move to the downside when we're below, or even a top, or the low is very close to being in. If you look at previous time frames here, let's look at the Bitcoin chart right here, because we can kind of give a better picture of this, and I can kind of talk you guys through what I'm seeing here. So I see here, when we see this red dot green dot, red dot, green dot, and we see this cluster forming. If you look back to where we were at here, this was in this sideways chop. You know, guys, there was a time when we traded sideways for almost over a year. And you know what followed that? An absolutely brutal capitulation to the downside. Let's measure it for fun. A 53% drawdown after chopping sideways into the downside for over a year, guys, okay? Just keep that in mind. But we saw after these dots, it indicated, okay, time for a massive sell-off, and that's what we saw after seeing this cluster of dots. But also, we've seen a cluster of dots here at the top. When we were leading up into 2021, we saw a cluster of dots before an absolute massive sell-off into that summer lull back in 2021. I do want to emphasize back here, there's a difference here. You're seeing momentum waves on the bottom, and you're also seeing momentum waves on the top from 2021. This massive drawdown marked the bottom. We saw a the cluster was leading up to a big move, and then we saw the bottom, and we just V-shaped straight back up and chopped sideways for a significant amount of time. And the next time we saw a cluster like that was before the summer lull. We were chopping up at the top, massive drawdown to the downside. Hey, let's measure this one for fun, right? Let's check out what was the drawdown from here. Another 53% drawdown. How about that? After we saw all these clusters, this was a top signal for sure, and there's many other top signals to give some confluence to us before we saw this massive breakdown. But I want to emphasize then we saw another one. Okay, on the bottom here, this marked the bottom. We started to see a cluster around here. We saw this chopping around. It marked the bottom, guys. Back when Solana came down to $8, $12, Bitcoin was trading around $17,000, $18,000. We saw that brutal capitulation of $15,000, which was not nearly as brutal as this sell-off back here, back in 2018, but it was a sell-off nonetheless. And as we saw this sell-off happen, we realized it was the bottom. Well, so you may say, okay, Black Sea, what are you saying here? Are you saying that we're going to have a massive sell-off? Not necessarily. I do think that there will be a very, very large move coming here very, very soon. And a lot of people are expecting October and November, December, Q4 to be very, very bullish. October, I think that's possible. I do think that's possible. I do want to see this start to form out on Bitcoin a little bit more here, though, before I say, okay, we're going straight to the moon, guys, because every time we've seen this cluster right here forming, there's large moves. And usually it's a brutal capitulation to the downside, but not necessarily back here. We did see a 53% drawdown, but right after the bottom was in, maybe we're waiting for that quick wick to the downside, a big sell-off move, a move that brings us to 44,000. Let's measure if we were to break down from here. I think the breakdown has kind of already started, to be honest with you guys. But if we were to see a 53% move, that would bring us to about $30,000 Bitcoin. And that would absolutely decimate the altcoins. Absolutely decimate them. Now, I want to emphasize, though, what comes right after that. We see this cluster. I will say this does look like we could see some curvature here, though. We could see this start to curve up to the upside. I think that's possible. And we don't have to break straight down. We don't have to just because it's a cluster. All this cluster is showing us that, okay, volume is getting pinched. We're getting ready to see a big move, a breakout out of this channel. A breakout bringing us to either above $74,000, the top of this broadening wedge, or below the bottom of this broadening wedge, below $49,000, guys. That's what I'm seeing play out here. And this is a very, very sharp cluster we're seeing coming down. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this curve sooner than later. But if we don't see this curve out sooner than later on the weekly, and we continue to sell off into October and into November, I'm going to say, guys, hey, risk is to the downside. Risk is to the downside. That's what I'll say. But all we know for a fact right now is that there will be a large move coming here probably in the next 3 weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And I know that sounds like an eternity in crypto land, but that's not that far away. That's not that far away at all, guys. We need to be paying attention to this, especially if you're bullish on Solana, bullish on altcoins. You got to be keeping your eyes open, because if we do make this breakout to the upside out of $74,000 on Bitcoin and we get a 53% move from said $74,000, that brings us up to about $115,000 Bitcoin. I think that's very conservative. I think that is very, very conservative. I think that is a good price target to keep our eyes open for, especially leading into early 2025. And you guys know, if Bitcoin starts going over $115,000, Solana is set and ready to go to make a very, very, very nice move to above $500, guys. That's my price target if Bitcoin starts to really rally significantly. If we measure that out, that is a nice 280% gain. I think that is possible. I think it's probable if Bitcoin decides to make this breakout to the upside. If it makes that breakout to the downside, though, guys, we do need to be paying attention to that. We do need to be prepared for it, because I do think that if Bitcoin does break to, say, $49,000, maybe even $30,000 Bitcoin, I know that sounds absolutely crazy and insane and super mega bearish, but guys, I try to be as transparent as I possibly can be on the Crypto Report, and I want to tell you guys what I'm seeing. All I'm doing is looking for patterns and coupling that with fundamentals and overall market psychology. And I do think that we need to be paying attention to the downside. I do think that a $60, maybe even $45 Solana is possible, especially if Bitcoin decides to take a tumble and break below that very, very key broadening wedge support level. It's possible. We need to be looking at both of these angles. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that I'm absolutely crazy? Do you think that, Black Sea, there's not going to be a large move coming? Guys, there is a big move cooking up right now that's been cooking up for the past 7 months, especially when you look at the daily. I mean, this shows a better picture here. Either we are coming to break above $65,000, or we are getting ready to continue this breakdown to the downside, and that the top is in for a while. It's one or the other. It's either sending us straight to the moon very shortly, or we are going to be breaking down and trading sideways and setting in a much longer corrective period, probably until, if we do get that corrective period, I would say after Q1 of 2025, we should be expecting a bigger move or a clearer picture. But guys, I'm bullish. I am ready for this to break out to the upside. I am ready for Q4 to be very bullish because, guys, election year, okay? Bitcoin does not like the summertime. The summertime is going away. It likes the wintertime. Santa Claus rally. There's lots of bullish things going on in Q4. They're not going to let the markets dump. The S&P 500 is going to continue to moon, and I think Bitcoin is going to follow just right along with it. Let me know, guys. What do you think about that? If you would like to take advantage of these large moves that are coming, you want to long it, say, Black Sea, we're going straight to the moon, we're going to 115,000, or you say, Black Sea, you know what, I think we're going to zero. Then check out some fantastic links we have down below in the description box and in the pinned comment. We have a $5,000 sign-in bonus to Blowfin and a $4,100 sign-in bonus to Femex. All you get is click those links, deposit, trade a little bit. You get a bunch of free money, and you can use a fantastic tool with lots and lots of coins to be leverage traded with, especially on Blowfin. Blowfin has many, many, many meme coins if you guys want to get a little bit degen. But I do think that Solana is setting up for a very, very nice level here. You know, I've been saying Solana is the main character of this cycle. I still am backing that idea as it holds up so well as we get deeper and deeper into this cycle. It just becomes more and more apparent to me that I think that Solana is going to shock a lot of people and continue to just make these bigger moves to the upside and set up to $300 plus. I think that is on the table, guys, especially if Bitcoin wants to play out towards that breakout to the upside. That's all I got for you guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next one.